Hey guys, your boy Sean Bellamy back with you with a brand new episode, full podcast episode of Jack of All Plays. Again, the Jack of All Plays podcast episode number 8. I know it's been a while. I can tell, so I gotta be more active in doing these because I do love, giving you guys my thoughts on the various, sports news stuff going on around the world. No matter if it's NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, hockey, don't matter. Whatever I feel like talking about, you're gonna see on this podcast. So let's get right into it, guys. We're going to start it with the NBA portion, of what happened throughout the week. And obviously, this is the biggest news. It's obviously probably being talked about right now. I know it's one of the maybe top 3 things trending on Twitter. This morning, I woke up, just like a lot of us woke up. I'm pretty sure John Morant's PR team woke up frustrated, shocked, and just wondering what the hell is wrong with this dude. So John Morant, I got my computer pulled up here. John Morant had a gun. They're saying allegedly. There's the NBA is investigating the Instagram live video of John Morant having a gun on Instagram Live again. I found this out like 26 minutes ago that the Memphis Grizzlies, while the investigation is going on, even though it's really not really needed investigation, there was and you could clearly see he had a gun on Instagram Live. But the Memphis Grizzlies, the team that John Morant plays for in the NBA, has suspended him from all team activities. He can't go. I'm pretty sure he can't go anywhere in facilities or anything like that. Anything that got to do with the Memphis Grizzlies, they're suspending him until further notice. Once the investigation is up. I woke up. I already talked to my girl about this, but I'm just so tired of this shit, dude. And excuse my language. I just cannot understand just the absolute stupidity of some people, let alone athletes, when you have worked so hard, man, so hard, being blessed with this gift, has done everything in your power. Your family did what they could. You hone your skills. You practice. You work your tail off to get to the Mecca, which is the NBA. It's the top thing in basketball. It's getting to the National Basketball Association. And dudes just for some reason put themselves in situations that can have it taken away from you. It's not injuries or anything like that. It's your own decision making. And I can't express this enough. And I know some people always say you're bringing a race into it, but as a black man, I don't understand this. Why? Not just a black man, as a black person, as a black human being, I don't get it. Why are you trying? It's like, bro, I'm about to snap because I just don't understand these dudes, man. You work your entire tail off, to get away from the stereotypes and all the stuff that people want to look bad on, like black people, as us as African Americans, and all this other stuff. You have gotten out of the hood. You've gotten out of the situation. You just want to make your life better. Why does John Morant continue to put himself in these situations? Again, as I said before, this happened before. He was suspended, believe this past season, whatever, in the regular season for 8 games without pay by the NBA because he had a gun. I don't know if he had it in a strip club or whatever. He wasn't doing like he was trying to harm someone with it or anything like that. But the NBA I believe is a private company, and he has a morality clause that you're not allowed to do this type of stuff, especially when you work for the NBA. I know people say, he probably has a gun license. It's his right to carry. But dude, again, it's the NBA. You're not, dude, if they're telling you can't do this, you just don't do it. And I hate the notion. I've seen people say, well, what if you were in a situation? What are you talking about, dude? If I was in his situation, I would never be anywhere near this bullshit. You don't need, bro. In the video, you could clearly see that it's like his mans was telling him, like they was trying to turn the video off or put the camera down, but John Morant for some reason put the camera back up, and he like I say, just had the gun in his hand. I don't understand this dude, man. I don't get it. So now he's suspended. And like I said, so further notice, they didn't say he's, there's going to be a suspension is what I'm saying. Once the season starts next year for the Grizzlies, he's going to start on the bench. They're going to suspend him at least for a good amount of games. I'm not going to say like maybe 20 or 30. Maybe it's like 10 or what. But this is his second time doing this. And they suspend him for 8 games without pay. So there's going to be a suspension. I don't know what the investigation is for. I guess they're going to do the whole innocent to proven guilty. But you can clearly see the man had the gun on Instagram Live. I just don't understand it, yo. And like I said, as a black man myself, you know what we already deal with. The stereotypes and stuff that people like throwing on to say, oh, you're just a thug, you're this and that. Dude, and I guess some people say don't worry about what others are saying, but you're not helping matters, man. Like, what is wrong with you, man? Like, why do you have to have a gun in your hand on Instagram Live? It's like someone needs to take, just like someone needs to take Instagram Live, Instagram Live, oh my God, I can't say it, Instagram Live away from John Morant and his friends. I don't get it. And those, to me, are not your real friends. Because why, bro, they have to know your situation. Like, you got suspended for this stuff before. Why can't you just ever have a video you just dancing, having a good time with your bros? Why do you have to have a gun in the video? I really get frustrated because, again, John Morant is not the first, person to ever do this. But it really frustrated me. Again, I brought up being a black man, but not just, again, overall as a person. If you have worked your ass off, black, white, Hispanic, I don't care, and you have done what you could to get, again, to the top of your field, to be looked at as one of the best in your field, whatever. Even if, you don't care if you're a role player, I don't care if you're, you know what I mean? When you work your tail off to achieve something in your field, in the industry or whatever, and you do everything you can to get it taken away from you because of your dumb decisions, I really get frustrated at that. Like, bro, put me in John Morant's situation. Give me John Morant's abilities and his gifts. Bro, I will never, ever put myself in a situation. And I'm saying that because I guess I said before during this episode, I'm so tired of people saying, well, you never know if you was in this situation. Dude, what are you talking about? There's no excusing this, yo. I don't care what anyone else, what anyone say. I don't know. There might be some people that will defend him. I did see a comment on Twitter where someone was like, y'all not helping matters by talking about it, sharing about it, which is very stupid of anyone to say, because it don't matter if it's me. It don't matter if it's your friend or whoever's posting and talking about it. It's going to be talked about. He's in the limelight he's in the NBA. He is looked at as one of the top 10 point guards in this league when he's out there. It's not like it's just going to go under the rug and they're not going to care. I'm just so tired of seeing players or just people in general squander their opportunities when you've worked your tail off to get out of a situation. As black men and women, we work our tails off to get out of a situation that we're in and use our God-given abilities or whatever we're trying to do to better ourselves, better our families, and better our whole livelihood. I don't know why it's so hard for some dudes to be like, you know what, man, I can't do this no more. Yo, look, I can't hang with y'all no more, man, because y'all into some dumb stuff. Yeah, y'all into some stuff, man. Like, I can't get into that. Or y'all know the situation I'm in. I'll look out for y'all my boys, but I can't do that. I can't be doing that, man, because if they catch me, it's over. It could be over for me. And again, I'm not saying, I'm not saying his career is over. It's just so unnecessary and just stupid. It's just really, really stupid, man. I really don't understand. I'm not saying you have to be the perfect angel. You got to be the best human being in the world. We all make mistakes. But at some point, you just got to start looking at yourself like, yo, you really lack discipline. You're just being stupid, because how many times you look at it like it's a mistake when you just keep doing it over and over and over and over again, dude? Again, this is the second time that he's done this, and it got him suspended. John Morant got suspended in the season for 8 games because of this. I'm not here to defend it. I think it's just absolutely stupid. Again, you put anyone, there's so many people that would love to be in John Morant's situation, and he's just doing everything he can to have it taken away from him. I don't know. Maybe it's a mental health thing. I have no idea, dude. I don't know what's going on in John Morant's head, yo. Because again, if you're his PR team, you hit him up, you're his agent, you're like, John, yo, what's going on? What are you doing? Like, what are you supposed, like, how can he defend what he's doing? This is the same thing that got you in trouble before. I'm just so tired of reading about this stuff. If he won't be the last, there's going to be some other idiot out there that's going to do something crazy. They did what they could to better their situation, to get on top of their field and all that, and they're going to do something dumb to get themselves in trouble. I just keep saying I don't understand. I don't have a script in front of me, so I can't say anything else. It's so frustrating, dude. I have to talk about this, or I don't have to talk about it, but we have to talk about this. That we're hearing that he has a gun on Instagram Live again. And now he's suspended by the Memphis Grizzlies because he just while they investigate. Like I said, I put in quotes because like what are you like we seen it, man. It doesn't make sense. He's caught like in 4K. It's not hard to see that it's literally a gun in this man's hand, yo. That's going to dominate all the news for today. The Sixers and Celtics play today, I believe, at 3:30, Game 7. Whoever wins that goes on to face the Miami Heat in Eastern Conference Finals. But we're going to probably hear more about this than we are about the actual game. It's going to go through the floodgates throughout the entire week, especially on ESPN, on SportsCenter or whatever. It's so disappointing. It's again, and obviously I don't know John Morant, but I'm still gonna say I'm disappointed in dude. I don't understand why is it so hard to just not do stupid shit, to get yourself in trouble when you know that this could cost you with everything that you've been trying to you work so hard for. I don't understand it, man. Yeah, very disappointing. Again, John Morant had a gun on Instagram Live again. Moving on, headline that's been brought up since. Still an NBA section of this episode about Kevin Durant. Believe it was a couple days ago, 2-3 days ago, whatever. But basically this week, the Denver Nuggets did eliminate number 1 seed. Denver Nuggets did eliminate. Oh my God, I forgot their name. Sorry, the Phoenix Suns in the 4-2 series. They got blown out. The Suns, the second straight year, in a elimination game, they got their tails whooped again. And like I said, are eliminated. In the playoffs. Last year, I believe it was Luka and Dallas that was beating them by 30 or whatever. And this is while the Suns are at home. These aren't on the road games. They're at home getting their tails whooped back-to-back years. But like I said, the Denver Nuggets did eliminate Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and the Phoenix Suns, which did cost Monty Williams, their head coach for the Suns, his job. We'll go over that one a little bit there down the episode. But yeah, the headline that's now coming up is everyone's asking, can Kevin Durant carry a team to a championship? Kevin Durant has not won a championship since he's joined the team that beat him. I will never forget that. As much as I love Kevin Durant, I still think it's the weakest move I've ever seen by a superstar player in my life. I know some people try to say LeBron going to Miami was the weakest one. No, it was not, because Miami did not beat LeBron James when he decided to team up with Chris Bosh and D. Wade. I think Kevin Durant's decision to, not only did he lose to the Golden State Warriors in 2016, I believe, when they was up 3-1, OKC was against Golden State, but again, he joined them after they lost their 3-1 series lead against LeBron James and Kyrie Irving and the Cleveland Cavaliers that same year, which was, it's insane for in itself. But yes, the question everyone's going around asking, and I want to answer myself, can Kevin Durant carry a team to a championship? And I want to say no. I think it sounds crazy to even say it out loud, because Kevin Durant, again, he's one of the best players that ever played this game. He's ridiculous. He's really good. Obviously, he's great. Not just really good. But no, I feel like Kevin Durant is a front runner type of player. Not front runner, but I'm not trying to disrespect the man's skills. Well, I'm just saying he needs like everything to be perfect for him to win a championship. That's why he joined the Golden State Warriors. I understand it don't take just one guy. I understand that but it's not the type of thing where you could just say, hey, we could put Kevin Durant on this team, on any team, and they're going to win the championship. It's not true. Look at the Brooklyn Nets when he had James Harden and Kyrie Irving. Look what happened when he was OKC, when he had Russell Westbrook and they was up 3-1 against the Warriors and he lost. Look what's happened ever since he's left the Warriors. Ever since he's left the Warriors, he has not even gotten to a NBA championship. I believe he's made it to a conference finals. I gotta look that up. But overall, I do not think Kevin Durant can carry a team to a championship. He could be very helpful. He was helpful in those championships, couple championships with the Golden State Warriors with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. But by himself being the guy, no. I don't think Kevin Durant, basically I'm saying I don't think Kevin Durant could be the guy for the championship. He has to have, like maybe another superstar or two next to him to even win a championship. While this was brought up, a lot of people was trying to, and I'm a huge Russell Westbrook fan, a lot of people was trying to say that he has carried a team to a championship before when he carried the OKC to the title, and that's not true. That's when they had James Harden on their team. James Harden obviously was not the James Harden we know now, but he was still a beast coming off the bench. I think a 6th man of the year and stuff like that. Russell Westbrook was in his prime. Oh, people really put a lot of disrespect on OKC Russ for some reason. Again, that one bad year he had, and with the Lakers, people just try to rewrite this man's entire career, which is ridiculous. Go back and actually watch games where he was with Kevin Durant. Russell Westbrook, OKC Russ was a beast. Before we even get to the triple-double Russ, he was a beast when he played for OKC. And like I said, people try to change the narrative. People are saying now that, like, oh, well, you got to give him, he helped carry that team up 3-1 against Golden State in 2016. No, Kevin Durant didn't. If you actually check the numbers, Russell Westbrook averaged 27 points, I think 11 assists, and 7 rebounds in that series. I'm not saying he was perfect, and I think he choked just like OKC and Kevin Durant choked in that 3-1 lead against Golden State. Excuse me, I keep clearing my throat. But overall, it wasn't like, people make it like it was all just Kevin Durant is the reason why OKC was up, and that's not true. So I'm leaving that up in the air. You guys put in the comment section of this episode, do you think he could carry him to a championship? I do not. Again, I just gave you that example, OKC. And ever since he left Golden State, go to Brooklyn. When he got swept last year, I believe, against the Boston Celtics, and he did not have a good series against the Celtics. So, and I think the year before that, he lost to Giannis, and Giannis and the Bucks. So I think when Giannis won the championship. So overall, it's like, because as soon as he went to Phoenix, all the people in the media was like, yo, they're going to win the championship now. They're winning the championship. And again, I'm not saying he was super awful. He was bad in the game where they got eliminated against Denver a couple days ago. But you could argue Devin Booker was just outplaying Kevin Durant anyway. Devin Booker was having a hell of a playoffs this year. But again, I love Kevin Durant saying all that and rambling on. Overall, I'm just saying I don't think that man could carry a team to a championship. Again, the Nuggets did get rid of the Suns, and I just feel like Kevin Durant, he should have stayed in Golden State. I really think so. Like I don't think Kevin Durant wants to be. I mean, he said it himself. He doesn't want to be the alpha. He doesn't really want to be the guy. He just wants to play basketball. So there you have it. Guy don't even look at himself as like he wants to be the man. He just wants to like, yo, man, just plug me in a situation and I'll do what I can, which he does. He balls out. But again, and if that's how you wanted it, you should have just stayed with Golden State, because if you telling me that if you're going to start a team with Kevin Durant, there's a chance you may not go to the championship, is my point. You need like a lot of stuff to go on as far as pieces. And again, it takes more than just one guy, but it's like he needs another superstar or another star player. And he's had good teams. You can't never say he has had bad teams after Golden State. Again, even though with the Kyrie Irving situation, he didn't want to get vaccinated and all the other stuff with Brooklyn, he still had him. He still had James Harden. Like, he had a team with him. And then you put a situation with Phoenix, he would set up perfectly. In my situation, well, maybe not perfectly because of the way their roster, but still, I thought that Phoenix was at least going to make it to the Western Conference Finals. But again, I'm rambling. Moving on. Yeah, I don't think Kevin Durant could carry a team to a championship. I can't. He has to have so many other things to, work for him. Speaking again of the Suns, because they lost, the Suns let go of Monty Williams, the head coach of that team. It's funny because I think last year Monty Williams was coach of the year. Believe it or not, he was coach of the year. I like Monty Williams as a coach at NBA. But I guess after you lose, it's not hard to see why you were fired when you lost basically in the same fashion that you did last year. When they lost by like 20 plus to Dallas, when Luka went off on them, and I think they was down at 30 at one point in that game last year, like I said, and during my long monologue, my rant about Kevin Durant. But yeah, the same thing happened, like I said, with the Nuggets, game 6 at home, elimination game. KD and the Warriors. KD and the Suns got blown out again, like I said, by Jokic and Murray and the Denver Nuggets. So the Denver Nuggets Western Conference Finals, and Monty Williams will let go for that. What I've read so far is that the Suns will try after letting go to Monty Williams. Again, this also just shows how ruthless the sports leagues, owners and GMs could be, because it's like, I won Coach of the Year last year. He did a really good job. I thought Monty Williams was a good coach for the Suns. But it's like, we don't care about that last year. We don't care about what you did. We're letting you go because something just not seems to click, and we got to blame it on the coach. That happens in NFL, NBA, in baseball, hockey, it don't matter. it could be the player. It could be the way the roster is made up. And you can argue it wasn't Monty Williams' fault. Like I said, Kevin Durant did not play well in that last game in Game 6, and Devin Booker did not play well in that last game. Chris Paul was hurt again, and this might be he's on his last legs in the NBA, but he was hurt again. He was out. DeAndre Ayton was out for Game 6, and even when he was playing, you can argue DeAndre Ayton didn't really do much for a big man. He's someone who sometimes people think is too soft in the paint and stuff like that. And when they traded for Kevin Durant, this wasn't Monty Williams' fault. When they traded for Kevin Durant, they traded half their roster, definitely their bench, to get the dude. Mikal Bridges and them dude and all that. Just look at the Nets roster. As far as the players that came over from the Suns, they were key players to have on their team, and they didn't have a bench at all, dude. It don't matter who the Suns had on that bench. No one was there helping these guys out. When Kevin Durant and Devin Booker wasn't playing well, you couldn't go and get someone off the bench that was going to give them another solid outing to keep them in games. It's like Devin Booker and Kevin Durant had to play like 40-plus minutes just to keep their team in the game. They struggled in the first round against Russell Westbrook and the Clippers when they didn't even have Paul George and Kawhi Leonard because their bench was terrible. I don't know. I mean, I get it's a business. You move on, whatever. I think the Suns have a new owner as well, so I guess maybe he probably wasn't even the biggest fan of Monty Williams. So maybe this is his way of cleaning house and trying to restart the regime his way. Have his own group of guys in there. But my point is, I don't think you can blame Monty Williams what happened to the Suns this past season. It sucks this playoffs because, again, it sucks. You lost by 30 again. And obviously, as a team, you got to look hard really hard in the mirror and look at yourselves because it doesn't make sense that this happened to you again. Not just get eliminated in the playoffs, but get destroyed at home. Like, they was down 81-51 at halftime against the Nuggets in Game 6. It was ridiculous. It was like, at that point, the game was over. Like, the Suns made little runs here and there, but it was never, I don't think it ever got under 20 points. It literally was like 20 plus throughout the rest of the game. Because, you don't see teams come down from 30 every single day. So, again, I wouldn't put the blame on Monty Williams. And last time I checked, Woj from ESPN reporter, NBA reporter, he didn't say that there was like any like leadway as far as like they already have somebody. And well, I guess they have someone in mind. They were saying they were going to look at Ty Lue, who's the Clippers head coach, and really try to get him. But like I said, at this time, it's not like they got interviews set up, whatever. Monty Williams was fired from Suns. Like I said, I don't think it was his fault. But again, it's a business. You have to expect that, especially when you get destroyed at home back-to-back years. Moving on, you guys, to real quick, we're talking about the National Hockey League playoffs. I put this on Twitter. I think it was yesterday, a couple days ago, whatever. I'm actually enjoying the NHL's playoffs a little more. I don't say way more, but a little more than NBA playoffs. NBA playoffs have this moment. I'm not saying like the NBA playoffs have been boring, but I don't know. For some reason, I've sat down and actually like watched full games of hockey. And I'm not saying I've never watched a hockey game before, but like I'm really really paying attention this year as far as the playoffs. I know I sound like a novice, a rookie at watching sports because I'm pretty sure a lot of hockey fans will say, Sean, you've been missing out, man. This always happens. But I think the NHL playoffs just have been more exciting, at least this year. I don't have a team to root for at all, even when you talk about a team in the regular season or anything like that. So it's not like, my team was eliminated in the playoffs or anything like that. I don't have a hockey team. And maybe I should get one. So maybe it would probably be more invested. I guess you could say it's always nice to cheer for that one team. If there was one team that I was looking at, probably call me a bandwagon. I'm not saying they're my team. But the one team I've actually been rooting for because me and my girls been watching them is the Florida Panthers. The Florida Panthers came into the playoffs. I believe they're in the Eastern Conference of the bracket. And they're the 8th seed. And they knocked out the number 1 seed, Boston Bruins, who everyone was looking at as the best team in hockey this year. They was going to be the team to come out the East. And they beat them. I don't know if it went 7 games or not. But they did beat them and knocked out the Boston Bruins to move on next round. And then they just got done, as I explained to you, I was going on the playoffs. They just got done with their series, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago, beating the Toronto Maple Leafs 4-2 in the series. At one point, they was up 3. No, was it 4-2? Hold on, let me pull up my thing here. They won 4-1. They was up 3-0 on Toronto, and I think they won in overtime 3-2 against the against the Maple Leafs. And knocked the Maple Leafs out. So right now, the Florida Panthers, I got the bracket pulled up here. They are sitting, and they're going to go up against the Carolina Hurricanes, who won their series 4-1 over the New Jersey Devils. And yeah, the reason why I'm bringing up Florida, the Panthers, because it's like they just play with so much grit. Like their defense is like locked down, like shut down. I'm not saying they're the best defense left in the playoffs, but when you watch them, they're just super aggressive. They're knocking dudes over. Like when they're on you, they're on you, yo. Me and my girls been watching them and having a great time because every time they're out there, like they just. If you're going to win a game against Florida, you're going to have to earn that win, is what I'm saying. Like, I can't see you blowing out the Panthers. Like, they are locked in defensively. Like, I love defensive teams. Like, and I'm not saying they can't score, but when they, like I said, if you get down like 1 or 2 to them, it's probably a wrap. Because when I've watched them out there during these hockey games, man, in the playoffs, they have been crazy. And like I said, they were the 8th seed coming in. They did win their, I've got it pulled up here. They did win in 7 against 1 seed for the against the Boston Bruins. And like I said, they just beat the Toronto Maple Leafs, who I believe is the 4th seed. Yeah, I believe. I don't know. I could be having all the seeding thing wrong. The whole point I'm making is the Florida Panthers have actually been dominating. Like I said as well, the Carolina Hurricanes won their series against New Jersey 4-1. So in the Eastern Conference Finals, you will have New Jersey. Excuse me. You will have the Carolina Hurricanes going up against the Florida Panthers in the Eastern Conference Finals. And over in the West, you have yesterday the Seattle Kraken did tie the series. I think they won 6-3 against Dallas Stars. Then they tied the series at 3-piece. So that series is going to 7. And we're today, I believe the Vegas Golden Knights, who was up 3-2 over the Edmonton Oilers. And that series is 3-2 Vegas. And I believe that game comes on today. So if Vegas wins, obviously they'll go to the Western Conference Finals and wait the winner of Dallas and Seattle. But yeah, man, I know I didn't explain, in detail why I like it as far as the hockey playoffs versus basketball playoffs. Also, I want to say, too, I get one of the things real quick before I move on to NFL. I think one of the biggest reasons why I like it is the refs. I'm not saying the refs don't have bad calls and stuff like that or don't miss calls. I'm pretty sure they're not perfect, and hockey fans will tell me that. But I just feel like they don't really mess up compared to, from what I've seen in this playoffs versus NBA referees, man. Like today, the Celtics and Sixers are playing a Game 7 in Boston, and Scott Foster, who was the lead official for that game, he's the lead official for that game, and a lot of fans are worried because Scott Foster has a history of just really calling some very shady stuff, and really overall, it just seems like NBA referees affect the games in the most negative way possible. And I'm not saying they're the worst refs ever. I mean, you could probably put them and the NFL referees are probably neck and neck, but as far as horrible they are, especially in big game situations, but I don't know. And again, I'm pretty sure there's a video out there of hockey, National Hockey League referees messing up and having terrible calls and having people think it's rigged or whatever. Like NBA fans think the NBA playoffs is rigged because how referees, we're not going to get all into that. It's a story for another day. My point is, it just seems like when I watch the hockey games, it just seems like it's straightforward. Obviously, there's some calls here and there like, man, come on, that wasn't tripping, or how did you get this team a penalty and now this team has a power play because of the call. But it doesn't seem like it's as affecting the game in a negative light versus the NBA referees when you clearly see some bullshit, excuse my language, and you're like, dude, come on, man, why would you call that? Guys clearly flopping, or that clearly was clearly a guy traveled or something like that. And it's sometimes hard to watch NBA games, especially in the playoffs, when you see the referees calling. So when a team has like 30 foul shots compared to another team only having like maybe 4 in a game, it's just, I don't know. I get very frustrated watching NBA playoffs, and my team's not even in it, so I'm already frustrated. But regardless, it just seems, I don't know. It seems like just be some negative just stuff that really, it just be calls that's like it affects the game way more in an NBA playoff game than it does in a hockey game. Like hockey, you have your 3 periods, you have the intermissions. Again, there's calls here and there that'll stop play and everyone's looking at what happened, but it just seemed like this. It's just going. And to me, like I said, it's just been more exciting. I think we have more overtime games in the hockey games. Playoff hockey just seems it hits different and seems to hit different. And again, at 29 years old, I should have been paying attention to it. That's ridiculous. Again, I call myself a sports fan, and I don't know why I didn't give hockey playoffs that. Again, I would turn it on in here and there, and I would turn and try to get back to NBA playoffs, but sitting down and actually watching it, I'm like, dude, I've missed out. Like it's been a lot of fun watching the hockey playoffs. So moving on, you guys. Like I said, before I said NFL, like I said, Seattle Kraken forcing Game 7, beating the Dallas Stars 6-3. So that is that game. I believe is tomorrow. I think they're going to be in Dallas for Game 7, and like I said, then we're waiting on today between the Vegas Golden Knights and Edmonton Oilers to play their Game 6. And like I said, if Vegas wins, they'll just be sitting and waiting for the winner of Dallas and Seattle. Over to NFL, guys, a couple things to talk about before we wrap up this episode. Again, if you guys like this, please hit a like and subscribe and stuff like that. I know this isn't your typical podcast episodes where but again, you guys, I just go off the top and just ramble on, but whatever. Moving on to the NFL, the Browns trade for Zadarius Smith. They traded their 2024 fifth rounder, 2025 fifth rounder to the Vikings for Zadarius Smith. Smith is coming off a good season, having 44 tackles, 10 sacks, 24 QB hits, and a forced fumble. They basically got him for cheap. Word is for Zadarius Smith, who is, I believe, 30 years old, very solid player to have on the defensive side of the ball. He's going to be matching up with Myles Garrett now with the Browns, and I think this is a really good pickup by the Browns. I like Zadarius Smith. Like I said, they got him for cheap. This is for 2024, next year's draft in the 5th round, and then, like I said, a 2025 5th round draft pick. So who really gives a damn if you're a Cleveland Brown fan? I think this was a good pickup for them. Like I said, you're lining him up alongside on that side of the ball with Myles Garrett, who's one of the best defensive players in the game when he's healthy. So yeah, and there was word around the league that Zadarius Smith wanted. I think he told the Vikings that they only spent 1 season with the Vikings, and he already told them that he wanted to be released throughout the season, or at least near the end of the season, he wanted to be released. The Vikings denied him that and said, well, we want to get something in return. They got basically chips in return basically for him. They didn't get much for him. So I don't know, maybe the market wasn't not that high. No one was trading like their 1st or 2nd round pick for Zadarius Smith. And like I said, the Browns jumped in and traded 2 next year 5th round draft picks. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, sorry. To the Vikings. So yeah, like I said, I like it. It's a good pickup for the Browns. I think the Browns is going to be a good team this year if Deshaun Watson gets back to the form that we know he can get to, and the type of quarterback we know he can be when he's healthy, when he's out there. And the Browns overall, I think they have a good, solid team. I still think it's the Bengals. I don't know. Do I put the Bengals or Ravens? I still think it's the Bengals division to lose at this point. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. The Bengals going to win the AFC North, but I think the Bengals is the best team at this time. You can put the Ravens up there too. That's fine. You can put Cleveland. It don't matter. I think Pittsburgh, if you had to line it up, Pittsburgh's at least, I would say Pittsburgh's 4th. Yeah, Pittsburgh's 4th. My girl is not going to like that. My family's not going to like that. But I'm not saying Pittsburgh's horrible, but at least with those 3 teams, when you look at those 3 teams in front of them, Cleveland had Deshaun Watson, Joe Burrow with the Bengals, and Lamar Jackson, who just signed a contract extension with all that, whatever, with the Ravens. And I think the Steelers have if you say the weakest quarterback, again, I don't want to think Kenny Pickett is trash or anything like that, but when you look at all those other 3 quarterbacks, they're clearly better than him. So, yeah, that's one of the big reasons I have Steelers in the 4th place at this time. At least coming into the season, like I said, it's just early season predictions at this time. And the last thing you guys will talk about, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, former safety of the Philadelphia Eagles, said the Eagles front office turned their back on him. As you can see behind me, you guys know I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. I have my Philadelphia, Philly Eagles talk episodes, throughout, randomly I post whenever I hear something about the Eagles. And I could have made this a separate video, but I've already rambled and called I've already talked about CJ Gardner-Johnson before. I don't know if it was like a month or so ago, calling him a clown, or he's acting like a clown, because ever since the Philadelphia Eagles let him go, he just has this tendency to keep bringing us up, saying the fans turned their back on him. Now he's saying that the front office did, even though if all it takes is to do a little research. And basically the Philadelphia Eagles wanted CJ Gardner-Johnson back. He wanted more money. Howie Roseman, the great GM for the Philadelphia Eagles, he offered him a contract. CJ Gardner-Johnson, as a safety, he thought there was more money out there. He wanted more money, so he went out and tested the market. And the Eagles then took away that offer and tried to get their other guys back that they could use that money for. And then the Lions end up picking up CJ Gardner-Johnson. Now, on this podcast, in this episode, I want to tell y'all that I was okay with that. I was fine with him, trying to whatever he had to do to better his family and stuff like that. But when before he got signed by the Lions, and after the Eagles offered him that deal or contract, whatever you want to say, he saw that the market for safeties was not like at a high value. No one was paying top dollar for safeties, even if you're a good one, which I think CJ Gardner-Johnson is. I don't think he's a trash guy or anything like that. But this idea that he's saying the Eagles turned their back on him really just pissed me off. And like I said, he looks more like a clown every time he talks about the Eagles, and like his feelings is hurt. He said in the interview, I think it was with Kay Adams, he said in the interview to her that he understands the business. You don't want to get your feelings wrapped up in it. But you could clearly see he was in his feelings anyway. Because to go out there and lie and say the Eagles turned their back on you when they offered you the contract. It'd be different if they just let you go for nothing and they didn't care about you. But they offered him a deal. He just wanted more money. And Howie Roseman, the cap wizard that he is, he realized, dude, I'm not putting more into this. Here's a contract you offer. If this don't work for you, then we'll have to move on. That's it. It's a business. He wants to take care of his family. Go get your money, bro. No hate. No, nothing between us, or as the fans or the player. That's fine. I'm always for players going to get their bag. Go get your bag before the league's done with you. Do what you got to do. But don't play the victim there and be mad when people call bullshit, because we clearly saw what happened. You wanted more money. The Eagles offered you this, and you said no. Eagles offered you this. You wanted more money, and you said no. So to me, it's cap. It's ridiculous to go out there and just try to make like the Eagles turn their back on you, like we didn't want you. I really wish he would just shut up about this. I get people are probably asking him, but there's ways to answer it where, again, I'm not saying you have to be a perfect person, but at least just sit back and be like, look, it just didn't work out. I love the Eagles. I love the organization. Because when he was here, man, he was a hype piece. I loved having CJ Gardner-Johnson wearing those colors, man. The guy balled out for us. You could argue that he was literally all pro, definitely during the first half of the season. I think he was leading the team in interceptions, making big plays. Like I said, he was a guy on the sidelines getting hype in the locker room. He's like the type of dude you would love to have on your team. But this whole, again, it's like he's trying to save face. If anyone needs to be mad at anybody who turned their back on him, look at his agent. His agent's the one that screwed him over with the deals. His agent probably hyped him up or said something was out there, and there wasn't. And he lost out on the money he could have got, or stayed with the team, maybe with the Eagles. He probably wanted to stay with. I don't know. But the idea that the Eagles turned their back on him is very false. Just stupid thing to say. And again, I'm so tired of hearing about CJ Gardner-Johnson. Bro, just you're lying now. Cool, great. One pride, whatever they say over there. And just leave it at that. But that is it, you guys. This was episode 8 of Jack of All Plays. The stuff I wanted to talk about, various sports stuff you guys know what we do here on this podcast. I will do these more effectively, so I should have an episode up next Sunday, because I try to do these every Sunday, because obviously through Monday through Saturday, that's where I get all of my news from. And maybe the stuff that happens on a Sunday morning, like I talked about earlier with John Morant, that just happened this morning. So, oh yeah, I forgot to say Happy Mother's Day too to all the moms out there. I should have started off like that. I'm very stupid. I'm sorry. Shout out to all the moms out there, especially my mom. I love you. But yeah, this has been episode 8 of Jack of All Plays. I am out, you guys. Peace.